Yeah, I think for me, and to answer that question as well, is waking up, pretty early, just because we got so many kids, and just having that quiet time, right? Like I'm a like critical thinker sometimes, y'all, and it's just like I like to be at peace, and that's like a lot of times where I'm at my best. And even in the process of, you know, writing this book and seeing the storms that are surrounding me, right? It's like, okay, I need this time at 5:30 to just sit back, throw in some worship and pray. I need that. When I was 17, I was throwing on Jay-Z. Now that I'm 38, I'm throwing on worship, or I'm throwing on nothing at all, or I'm throwing on some house, or I'm throwing on something that is soothing to my mind and my spirit, mainly because I feel a responsibility to so many people, especially like with my family, right? So it's my family, and then like the outpour of love that we get online. You see a lot of people, they're like, listen, I needed this. I needed that 35-second clip of you saying X, Y, and Z.
But is that you setting yourself up to be what you need to be for other people, or is that you taking time just for you?
That's taking time just for me, but it ends up pouring into other people. You know what I'm saying? So me taking my time, throwing on my worship, being at peace, meditating, praying, and all that stuff, ends up going into being with, and helping other people. I'll give you an example. Last week I was at ShopRite. I was at ShopRite, and I go and I see my homie Mike that I haven't seen in like a couple years. And I go and I say what's up to him, catch up with him for a second. And literally at that moment, it was like pouring to this man. Yo, how's everything going? Like, you good? Like, is, scale of 1 to 10. He's a scale of 1 to 10. He's like, I'm like a 5.5. I was like, oh snap, like he keeping it real. Most people be like, oh, I'm at a 9. No, you're not. Stop lying. So I start pouring into the man because I'm like, what exactly do you need right now? I did the evaluation with him. And he was like, dude, you don't understand exactly what I needed right now. He said, 2 months ago, I almost died. He said, I almost died 2 months ago. I needed this conversation. And had I not got poured into, how would I be able to pour out? Because the man almost died of sepsis disease and everything. And I believe it was sepsis. And in 2 cases of pneumonia. And he's got a son as well, too. So it's like, you never know when you're going to actually need to pour into somebody. But how can you pour into other people if you're not going to the gym for you, right? How can you pour into other people if you're not in football practice, you know what I'm saying, doing your thing, or going to the beach? My point here, audience, is saying you've got to find the area of your life that is solely for you, right? Leaders out there, husbands, wives, mothers, fathers, uncles, aunties, whoever you are, you got to find that sweet spot where it's for you. Because the reality is when you put yourself lower on the totem pole, right? If God forbid something happens to you, who's going to catch you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And you can't then be there for everybody else like you say you want to be. I mean, I think the hardest part that people deal with that is this idea of, well, if I take that time for myself, I'm being selfish. You know what I'm saying? And I try to encourage people when we do marriage counseling and things like that. Like, listen, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you saying, I need this moment, I need this time.
Right.
I need this minute. Like I tell my girls, yeah, listen, y'all want mom and dad? We got y'all. But when mom and dad say, time out, y'all need to chill, like they understand it. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like, oh, well,
cut the corner.
Right now, we need to chill. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say that, if they really, really need something, we're not going to do it. But it's also building that time without presenting it like, oh, I'm being selfish. Because I hear a lot of parents say that, oh, that's selfish if we do that. You know what I'm saying? Because then what are the kids are going to do? Well, part of that is you got to train them how to be independent and on their own time so that you can have that time.
Right.
But if you don't do it,
because
listen, because they constantly need something. I mean,
right.
They're kids, you know what I'm saying?
But if you and Easton don't put your time in, right, and it's all about the kids first and stuff like that, where does that leave y'all when they turn 18, 20,
and that's
21?
The problem, because that's what happens is when people become empty nesters, now all of a sudden it's like they don't really know how to really interact with each other because they hadn't been doing it.
Yeah.
All they were doing was, it was just like, well, what's the next thing that the kids need? What's the next? I mean, you know how it is, right? Baseball,
Yep.
you know, school. Listen, doing it all the time.
All
but
the
at the
time.
same token, there's also time where it's just like, yo, nah, you know what I'm saying? We got to
Right.
chill so that we can have that time with each other. And I think my point really is just, don't receive it as being selfish. Receive it as valuable time that's necessary
That's right.
for you to be able to be a better parent, better husband, better father, better mother, better sister, better brother. But if you don't take that time for yourself, it's almost just like you expend so much that by the time people really need you in certain circumstances, you can't do it because you're worn out.